started in our comfortable seated postures. Find your sits bones by just rocking back and forth over your sits bones. Stack your spine nice and tall over the sits bones. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Close down the eyes if you like, or just take a soft gaze in front of you. Lifting up through the crown of the head, relax down the jaw. We'll just take a moment to become settled on our yoga mat. Just becoming present where we are. Starting to just sort through the thoughts that come and go. What we need to do after class. What maybe happened before. Just being here in this present moment. Starting to become aware of the breath. So this autonomic breath works for us all day. We don't even notice sometimes. So just starting to become aware. Not changing anything, but just following the flow. Notice the chest rising and falling as you breathe. And placing the hand to the belly, just noticing if your belly is relaxed or if this is a place you hold tension. The diaphragm is just below the rib cage above the belly button. So this is where we can start to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. So take a deep breath in and expand the belly. Let it soften and relax with an inhale. As you exhale, draw your belly button in, empty out your breath. As you inhale and expand the belly, imagine the lungs filling up with breath. And as you exhale, just emptying completely out. The big inhale, inflating the front sides, backs of the rib cage. Exhaling, emptying completely. Hands can be back to the lap if you like. Just relax down and start to bring in your ujjayi breath. Exhaling, creating a light constriction at the back of your throat. Same action you would take as you fog a mirror. So you inhale, see if you can recreate that same light constriction at the back of the throat. When you're comfortable with this breath, seal your lips closed, move your breath gently in and out of your nose. Again, just going with a natural rhythm in and out. Not changing anything, just noticing. Scanning the body, noticing any tension you hold. Just allowing the facial muscles to relax. Keeping the arms relaxed. Wiggling the fingers, softening them back to your lap. Feeling the chest soften on each exhale. Relaxing the belly, continuing that deep belly breath. Letting your legs feel heavy, keeping you grounded into your mat. Continuing to follow your breath. If any thoughts come through, just recognize the thought. Come back to your breath. Just not allowing your thoughts to compile or add to that original thought. Just letting them pass by, one at a time. Keep this mindset and the breath throughout the whole yoga practice, just allowing us to stay present in our practice. So on your next inhale, keeping the eyes either open or closed, reach your arms out to the sides of your body up to the sky. Bring your palms up to touch at the top. As you exhale, flip your palms down, sweep your arms to the sides of your body. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides of the body, up to the sky, lengthening. Exhale, sweeping the fingertips down. Your next inhale, sweep arms out and up. Interlace hands, flip your palms to the ceiling. Lengthen the sides of the body, the spine. Keep the crown of the head lifted, jaw soft. Extend both arms overhead. As you exhale, right elbow bends, hand right between the shoulder blades. Left hand to right elbow, or option to interlace hands behind the back. Maybe you have a strap that you'd like in between the hands. Draw your shoulder blades back and down the spine. Be mindful of the breath, keeping the jaw soft. Your next inhale, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, left elbow bends. Either right hand touches the left elbow or interlacing hands behind the back. You may find one side is a little easier than the other, so whichever side has the most tightness, be sure to use a strap, or if you don't have one, you can even hold onto your shirt. Always just going with the ability of the muscles and joints. And following your breath here. Your next inhale, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, open your arms out wide. Inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows, internally rotate the arms and clasp hands behind the back. Start with a bend to the elbows, work the shoulder blades in and down, and maybe the knuckles start to reach towards the ground, maybe even away from the body. Listening in here, how does that feel in the elbow joints, the shoulders? If you need to back off a little, bring the knuckles back, bend the elbows. If you spend a lot of time not even noticing the shoulders rounding forward all week, this may be a little bit of a stretch, it might be a little intense, doing the opposite action. Take a deep breath in, open your arms out wide. Exhale, giving yourself a big hug, right arm over left. Either hold the backs of your shoulders, maybe backs of the hands together, or palms to touch for eagle arms. Drawing your chin in towards the chest, relaxing the back of the neck, shoulders away from the ears. Deep breath in, open your arms out wide. Exhale, left arm on top of your right, hands to the backs of the shoulders, or any other variation you like here. Inhale, open your arms out. Place your left hand beside you. Inhale, reach long through the right side of your body. Exhale, bend your left elbow, sweep the right arm over just as far as that feels good while keeping the sits bones on the ground and spiraling the rib cage open here so that right shoulder blade goes back towards the back wall. Find your gaze where it's most comfortable, maybe up, straight ahead, or down. Up, keep your left hand down, right hand to your left elbow, and then just walk your left fingertips back a little bit further for a twist. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hug belly in, rotating, looking towards your left shoulder. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, release your right hand down, bend your right elbow, lengthen through the left, and then reaching the left arm up and over as you bend the right elbow, keeping sits bones grounded. Just starting to spiral the rib cage slightly here. Follow your gaze, comfortable in the neck. Keeping the right hand on the ground, inhale, come up. Exhale, twist, left hand to right knee, then maybe walking the right fingertips back a little bit further. Lengthening on your inhale. And then rotating with the torso. Only slightly with the neck here. And then your next exhale, unwind, making your way into tabletop position to warm up the spine. Placing a blanket underneath if you need it. Shoulders right over your wrists, hips right over knees. Tuck your back toes. Strong core as you support your lumbar spine. Reach the crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Cow pose, take a deep breath in. Lower your belly down to the ground. Starting to reach the sits bones back and maybe away from each other. Exhale, cat. Tuck the tailbone under, round your spine. Inhale, lower your belly down. Let your shoulder blades go back towards the spine. Exhale, hug the belly in, round the spine. Inhale, soften belly down. Bringing your gaze forward, maybe up. Exhale, finding your gaze towards the belly. One more time, inhale, soften belly down. Exhale, curl and round. Coming back to neutral spine, balancing tabletop. So again, just hugging the core in. We have this nice straight lumbar spine here, strong back. Reach your right arm out in front of you in line with the ear. Kicking the left leg back. And squeezing the glute muscle, lift the heel up towards the sky. See if you can keep the front of the left hip bone level to the mat so that we're not opening out to the side. We're really squeezing and just lifting up. Hold this one more breath, really holding on the core, slight tuck of the tailbone. And exhale, release back down to the ground. Do that on the other side. Extend the left arm out, straight in line with the ear. Kick the right foot back. And squeezing the glutes, lift the heel up to the sky. Seeing it here, if we can keep the hips level, so right hip is not higher than the left. Hugging in the core, tucking the tail slightly. Inhale. Exhale, back to tabletop. Child's pose, big toes together to touch. Walk your knees comfortable distance. Take your glutes on top of your heels. Hands out in front of you, forehead down to the ground. So hands are shoulder width apart here. See if you can suction cut the palms to the yoga mat. Spread the 10 fingers wide. And see if you can keep your elbows and triceps off of the ground. Taking a few deep breaths here. And again, knowing that this is the pose you can come to anytime during class. If you need to take a few extra breaths, maybe slow down the rate of the heart. Your next inhale, come back up to tabletop position. Keep the hands as they are. Tuck your toes, lift the knees, downward facing dog, and maybe you need to bend the knees and come in a little bit closer with the toes. But keeping the hands just as they were. Suction cup the palms, spread the fingers wide, and start to tilt the hips back. The hip flexors going a little closer to the tops of the thighs. If that feels good, you can start to pedal your feet. Guide one heel down towards the mat as you bend the opposite knee. Just going gently side to side, breathing into the hamstrings, the calves, glutes, low spine. Your next inhale at the top of your mat. Exhale, keep your knees bent, step feet right behind your wrists. Keeping feet hip width apart, bend your knees, fold forward over the tops of the thighs. Tuck your chin in towards the chest. If that feels good, hold on to opposite elbows. Give yourself a little sway side to side. Come back to neutral, fingertips to the ground, heel toe, feet together to touch. Slight bend to your knees. Inhale to come to stand. Nice and slowly, coming from our inversion. Lifting up nice and tall through the spine. Press your palms to your heart. Moving into our classical sun salutes. Reach your arms in front of you up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward, fingertips to the ground. Step your right foot to the back of the mat, lower right knee down, keeping your right toes tucked. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, big toes touch at the back of the mat, lifting the tailbone up. Inhale, come forward, shoulders right over your wrist, tuck under your tailbone. Exhale, lower down to your knees, bend your elbows, guide your chest chin to the mat. Inhale, cobra, slide to your belly, toes are tucked, upper thighs squeezing off of the mat. Exhale, knees, downward facing dog, tucking the lower rib cage in. Step your left foot top of the mat, lower your right knee down, left knee right over the ankle. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, slight bend to your knees. Inhale, reach arms forward up. Exhale, hands back to your heart. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Step left leg back, lower the left knee down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, downward facing dog, big toes touch. Inhale, come forward, hugging in the core muscles. Exhale, bend your knees and elbows, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, cobra, activating the triceps, upper back muscles. Exhale, knees, downward facing dog, hugging in the core. Right foot top of the mat, left knee touches down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, slight bend to your knees. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, active back. Exhale, option to come through knees or straight to down dog. Left foot top of the mat, right knee down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, either knees or straight, downward facing dog. Right leg top of the mat, left knee down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot top of the mat, right knee down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg forward, left knee down, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Mountain pose, arms to the sides of your body. Lengthen your spine, tuck under your tail. Either close your eyes or find a gentle gaze of the ground. Begin to shift your weight forward, fronts of the toes, back into your heels, and find the center of your feet. Shift slightly to your left, the right, and return back to the center of your feet. Engage your legs, glutes, abdomen, chest and back. Engage your arms as you reach your fingertips firmly to the ground. Whole body is active and engaged as you lengthen and deepen your breath. Just feeling that stability, that strength. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, hands to your hips, open your eyes. Step your foot out. We're going to come into a goddess squat. So bring your heels in, toes out, just a comfortable distance apart. You can do a practice squat here to see just how far away you need the feet to be from each other. Knees directly over ankles, behind the toes. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. So you exhale, come into your squat, hands to your heart, checking out your alignment. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach arms overhead. Exhale, coming into your squat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, this time we're gonna hold it, so checking in with the alignment, knees behind the toes. Tuck under the tailbone, back is straight. So if you were up against a wall, your whole back would be on the wall. Nice. Keeping the tailbone slightly tucked under. One more breath here. Inhale, reach arms overhead, straighten legs. Exhale, hands back to your hips, coming into our wide leg forward folds. Feet straight ahead. Inner arches of the feet face each other as you take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Hands down to the mat. Going to work the heels of the hands back towards the heels of the feet, so fingertips and toes straight ahead. Or maybe that's nice to have a downward facing dog here with hands out in front of you. Take the weight into the heels and the outer edges of the feet, so you're firmly strengthening the outsides of the thighs here. If your hamstrings are still warming up, have a good bend to the knees. One more full round of breath. If you had your hands out in front of you, just walk them directly underneath your shoulders. Bend your knees, hands to your hips, and inhale, come all the way up. Warrior two on the right foot, so pivot the right toes ahead, bend into your right knee. Make any adjustments needed for the left foot, so depending on how the hips feel today, keeping them level. Reach your arms out to the sides of your body, taking a quick glance down. So we're really firming up the outside of that right thigh. If you need to lift the heel, squeeze, and then place it back down to have that knee in line with more of the pinky edge of your foot. Tops of the shoulders away from the ears, reaching the fingertips in opposite directions. Finding a visual gaze, or maybe you'd like to even just close your eyes here. Each exhale, just getting the hamstring a little bit more parallel to the mat. Take one more inhale. extended side angle, bring your right forearm to the top of the right thigh. Left arm sweeps up and over your ear, so bicep in line with the ear here. Spiraling that rib cage open here, so back of the left shoulder blade going towards the back wall, more towards the middle of the spine. Any other variation you like to take in your extended side angle, you're welcome to do so here. Keeping that right thigh really firm, pressing the forearm in so that you're keeping that right shoulder stable here. One more breath. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, hands to your hips. We're going to come back into that goddess squat. So if you need a heel toe for a shorter stance, heels in, toes out. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, coming into your squat. Inhale, straighten legs, arms overhead. Exhale, squat. Inhale, overhead, straighten the legs. Exhale, hold here. So tucking under the tailbone, strong back, nice. Keeping the ankles right underneath the knees. One more breath. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to hips, wide leg forward fold. Inner arches of the feet face each other, lift up nice and tall. Option to interlace hands here, or if you like, just placing the hands to the ground. Deep breath in. Exhale, folding forward. If you chose this variation at any point it doesn't feel comfortable, you can always reach your fingertips to the ground. Nothing is permanent. Bringing the weight into the heels, pressing the outer edges of the feet down into your yoga mat. One more breath. If you have your hands interlaced, you're welcome to bring them back to the yoga mat first and then to your hips. Otherwise, you can place the hands to the tailbone, bend your knees. Inhale to come all the way up. Come nice and slowly from your inversion. Warrior two on the left foot, so pivot the left toes forward. Bend your left knee, make any adjustments with your right foot. Back edge of the right foot glues into the mat. Reach your arms out to the sides of the body. Tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Drawing the shoulder blades back towards the spine. Taking a glance every once in a while at your left knee, which direction the kneecap is going. We may not even realize sometimes the inner thigh muscle is a little stronger, pulling it towards the big toe. One more inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to the top of the left thigh, right arm over here, in line with the ear. Keeping that left forearm really strong, pressing into the left thigh. Again, rotating, keeping that rib cage open here. Any other variation you like in your extended side angle, welcome to do that here. Inhale, come all the way back, warrior two. Exhale, freeing your left foot. Step back to plank. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your big toes together to touch. Inhale, come forward to a plank, shoulders right over the wrist. Exhale, back to down dog. One more time to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time, separate your feet hip width apart. Maybe taking a couple of breaths as you bend the knees, pedal the feet. We're going to take one more full breath here. As you inhale, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Keep your big toes together to touch. Heels separate as we come into a chair. So bend the knees, take the seat back. Arms come forward and overhead, or maybe at your heart center. Maybe you'd like to take a twist, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Keep your seat low. Keep your knees behind the toes. I'm going to keep these thighs really firmed up as we step into a lunge. So you can either bring your hands back to your heart center or maybe overhead. You're going to just step that left leg back, high lunge. So if you're in your twist, you're welcome to try that variation as well. It's a little bit more tricky with the balance here. And if you had your arms overhead and you'd like to take the twist now, hand can come down to the left thigh, the ground. Right hand to the hip. You can always take a low lunge. Maybe if that left quadricep is on fire, you'd like to take it down a bit. I'm going to take one more inhale. Exhale, frame your right foot. Step back to plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. So separating the feet hip width apart. Inhale, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, step or lightest hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. We're going to take that chair again. As you exhale, sitting back in your chair. Arms can come overhead. Hands at your heart, or the twist. So choosing your variation here, couple of breaths, staying really strong. Taking that seat lower to the earth. Knees stay behind the toes. Good, we're going to take that step back into our lunge. So however that is more comfortable for you. So if you'd like to come back, hands at your heart, and then gently step that right foot back. Maybe you stayed in your twist. If you didn't stay in your twist, you'd like to take that now right hand down to the ground, left hand to your hip. Maybe reaching that left arm up. Maybe you'd like to lower that right knee down to the ground. Really strong here, keeping the chest lifted. Crown of the head reaching forward. Take another inhale. Exhale, frame your left foot. Step back to plank. Option to go knees, chest, chin, cobra into down dog. Maybe just straight into down dog. Choosing your variation here. We're going to take an inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, bring your knee to your belly button. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, warrior two, keeping the knee close to the body. So you step it to the top of the mat, spinning left foot across into our warrior two. Left hand to the back of the left thigh for reverse warrior. So flip the right palm up to the sky, sweeping the right arm. So we're getting this lateral side stretch. Keep a bend to the right knee. Left hand can slide to the left thigh, just avoid pressing onto your knee joint. And maybe you'd like to take the left arm behind the back, tucking the fingertips into the right hip. Staying nice and strong here, deep lunge into the right leg. Inhale, come back to warrior two. We're going to move into half moon. So hands to your hips. If you need to, heel toe the left foot in a little bit closer. Have your block just in front of your right foot here. Remembering that we're not placing all of our weight onto the block. This is just here as a guide. Left hand to your hip, keep your right knee bent, plant the weight into all four corners of the right foot. And then starting to tap left foot on and off of the ground until you feel comfortable enough to keep it lifted, flexing the left toes towards the shin. And we can open up that left hip flexor a little bit more here. Hand can stay to your hip. You can reach the left arm overhead. If you like to practice sugar cane, you can bend your left knee heel towards the glute as you reach the outside edge of the left foot. Finding a focal spot on the ground. Having just a slight bend to that right knee. We'll take one more full breath here. If you took sugar cane, meet back in half moon. Left hand to your hip, bend your right knee, and you can take a shorter stance, that left foot placed down to the ground where you feel stable. Meet back in warrior two for one breath. Inhale. Exhale, frame your right foot, step back to plank. You have the option to come knees, chest, chin. If you'd like to just go straight to down dog. We're going to practice that on the other side. So bringing your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee. Bring the knee to the belly button. Inhale, kick the left leg back. Exhale, warrior two. So stepping the knee close to the body. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right foot across. Take a moment here. Find your structure in the legs. Bringing the right hand to the right thigh, left palm sweeps up to the sky, coming into a reverse warrior. Lateral lengthening and stretching here on the left side of the body. Right hand can stay on the thigh or shin, calf rather, or take the right arm behind the back. So just avoid pressing into your knee. Keeping a deep lunge in the left leg. One more full round of breath here. Inhale, come back to warrior two. We're going to move into that half moon. So hands to your hips. Maybe heel toe that right foot in a little bit closer so that you have all the weight into that left foot. Left knee is bent. Block is just outside of your foot here, using that just as a guide. And then starting to tap right foot on and off of the mat. So you may just be working on this part depending on how we have our balance in the left leg. You may just be working on the toe tap the whole time, which is great, because you're really strengthening the outer right thigh and the glute, that gluteus medius and maximus. Eventually, keeping the leg in line with the hip bone here. Right hand can be to your hip or up to the sky. If you want to try out that sugar cane, you're bending the right knee, heel towards the glute. One more full breath. If you're in sugar cane, come back into half moon. Right hand to your hip, bend your left knee, and just take the stance needed with your right foot. So you may be really close. You may be able to get right back into warrior two. We'll eventually make our way into warrior two. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, frame your top foot. Step back to plank. And choose your variation to come back into your down dog. We're going to take an inhale, look at the top of the mat. Exhale, step or lightest hop. If you're taking a hop, both feet to the top of the mat, you're engaging the lower core and it's the softest landing. Inhale, come up halfway, palms to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to do a little bit more of a hip stretch with our standing figure 4 pose. So if you like, start to find the wall with the right side of your body. So your right hand can come to the wall, right hip in line. So we'll bring all of the weight into the right foot. I'm going to bend like we're going into chair. I'm going to hug the knee in, and then rotating from the hip, not the knee, bring your left foot to the top of the right thigh. Flex the left toes in. So if you're at the wall, this might be nice to just have your hand on the wall here. Maybe both hands are on your shin bones. Sitting a little lower. You can always straighten and rebend. So if that right quadricep is just on fire. And eventually, hands come to your heart. You're lifting crown of the head up, drawing the shoulder blades back so that you have this nice openness in the heart. Flexing the left toes. Good, nice work. We're going to take one more breath. Nice. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Place the left foot down, hip width apart. Exhale, just come into a forward fold. Reach your fingertips down to the ground. Just stay here a moment. You can clasp onto your big toe with your fingers. And release the fingertips from the toes. Bend your knees, hands to your hips as you inhale, come all the way up. We're going to take that onto the left side. So if you are at the wall, come onto the left foot, left hand near the wall. I'm going to sit back in that chair. Bring the right knee in, rotating from the hip. Bring the right foot to the top of the left thigh. And you may hold onto the wall with the left hand here. Maybe hands to the shins, or maybe the hands to the heart as you sit a little lower. Flexing the right toes, and again, you can straighten and bend that leg. Coming in and out of that if that feels better. Hold this just a couple more breaths. Good, one more breath here. Inhale, reach arms overhead, right foot down to the ground, feet hip distance apart. And exhale, fold forward. Okay, we're going to release our feet, bring the palms to the mat, step or lightly hop to plank, and then just gently lower down to your knees. We're going to take a side plank here. So come onto the right knee, bringing the right shin parallel with the mat, right palm to the ground, and extend your left leg out so you're on the inner arch of the left foot. Right arm stacks right above the shoulder, or right shoulder above the wrist, left hand to the hip. And you can choose to stay right here, maybe reach the left arm up and over. Or like we did in our half moon, you can lift the left leg off of the ground. Maybe this is where you can try that sugar cane. You have a little bit more control having the knee on the ground. Nice. We'll take a couple more breaths here. So even if you just kept the left foot on the ground, you're just reaching that left arm overhead and you're getting a really nice stretch. One more breath. Release the left foot down to the ground, left hand to your hip. We'll just come back into our tabletop position. If that feels good, you might want to just take a cat-cow, move the spine a little bit. We're going to take that on the opposite side. So bringing the left shin parallel to the mat. Bring your left hand down to the ground so that the shoulder is stacked right over the wrist. Right foot comes down to the ground, so you're on the inner arch of the right foot. And again, you're either taking that right arm in line with the ear here, just taking a nice stretch. Maybe you're lifting that right leg off of the ground, hand to your hip, flexing the right toes towards the shin. Or maybe you're trying that sugar cane by bending the right knee, bringing the heel towards the glute. Couple different variations, just giving whichever feels best a try. One more full breath here. And re-extend that right leg if you had it, placing it back down to the ground, coming back into a tabletop position. We'll gently come onto our seat, coming into Janu Shirshasana. So left leg extends straight, bend your right knee and bring your foot to the inner left thigh. Flexing your left toes in, squeezing the left quadricep, slight or deep bend to your knee, and you have your strap if you'd like it. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. If it helps to have your hips up on a blanket, feel free to place a blanket underneath you. Your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, release your hands to the sides of your body, bringing the right sole of the foot on the ground. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, reach your right fingertips behind you, taking your left elbow to hug the right knee. If you like any other variation of this pose, you can take the right foot outside of the left thigh. If you've done that, maybe you'd like to bend the left knee, bringing the left heel closer to the right glute. Or maybe you're just in step one and you're really focusing on lifting tall on your inhale, hugging the core in, rotating on the exhale. And just gently unwinding, we'll come to the opposite direction. So unwinding the legs, be shaking them out. And keeping the right leg straight, bend your left knee, left foot to the inner thigh, flexing the toes in. Slight or deep bend to your right knee. If you have your strap, you can use that on the arch of your right foot. So you sweep your arms up. And exhale, folding forward. Each inhale, you can lengthen the spine, keep the back engaged. Exhale, keeping gravity on your side here. So just allowing that to help you come down closer into the fold. Gently inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, release, taking the left sole of the foot to the ground. Left fingertips walk behind you as you take your right elbow to hug your left knee. Lifting up tall. Rotating the torso on your exhale. If you'd like to take any other variation, you can take that left leg outside the right thigh. Maybe bending the right knee, right foot closer to the left glute. Gently unwind, bring both soles of the feet to the top of the mat, seat to follow, hands either on the backs of the hamstrings or maybe like a little core activation, arms to the sides of your body, slowly lowering all the way down with control, coming all the way down to your mat. Hug your knees into the midline of your body. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Come into a spinal twist to the right. So just letting your hips come over to the left side of your mat. Right knees over to the right, all the way down. Either giving yourself a big hug with the left arm, or maybe you'd like to open that left arm out. Either right hand to the outside of the knee, maybe opening out both arms. Hug your knees in above the hip line, towards the belly. And take your knees back to the midline of your body. And shifting your hips over to the right edge of your mat. Let your knees come over to the left side. Either big hug, opening the right arm out, maybe the left arm as well. Taking the right arm back to give yourself a hug. Plant the right palm on the ground. If you're coming all the way up for your supported bound ankle, if you'd like to just take it flat on the ground, just come to your back, soles of the feet together to touch and knees out wide. If you have some props at home that you'd like to give the supported a try, have two blocks, the top of your mat. Bringing your big sturdy pillow or a bolster on top so that the bolster is on an angle. Having a small blanket for underneath the cervical portion of your spine. If you'd like, you can sit on a secondary blanket. And then a third, you're just going to bring out to be like a long tube. So just folding the blanket in half lengthwise. Rolling it. And then bringing the base of your spine closest to the bolster, soles of your feet together to touch, knees out wide. Bring the tube of the blanket on top of your feet, underneath the ankle bones, and then you can tuck the top to support the thighs if the knees don't come all the way down to the ground. If you have an eye pillow, this is a lovely time to use that. So my neck is supported here, head is on the bolster so that it's not just floating in space. Everything is grounded and supported. And then hands can either rest at your sides or your belly. So if you just took this all the way to the ground, maybe you have one blanket that you'd like underneath your neck, maybe a second one that you roll for underneath your knees. So just having the knees supported. And begin to relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax down your jaw. Relax your throat, chest, and collarbones. Relax the back of your right shoulder, right arm, right hand. Relax the back of your left shoulder, left arm, left hand. Soften your upper back, middle of your back, lower back. Relax your stomach muscles. Coming back to a natural rhythm of breath. Soften your hips, right leg, right foot. Soften your left leg, left foot. Feeling ease in your body, completely relaxed. Bring awareness back to your body. And to deepen your breath. Bringing movement to your fingers and toes. Reaching arms overhead, stretch. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Gently making your way onto the side of your body, fetal position. Taking a full breath in, deep breath out. inhale, slowly come up, seated position. Taking another deep breath in, full breath out. Namaste.